This goes over how to control keys. I'm going to make a new sequence, 1080p, click OK. I'm going to use a circle, which in here it's an ellipse, so under Graphics, Edit, and you could go under Windows Graphics if you don't see Graphics, so Graphics, Edit, and click New Layer, create an ellipse, and there's my ellipse. If you don't see the bounding box around here, there's a glitch where you would have to resize your software's window. Just nudge it. You can see as I nudge it, disappeared. And if I drag it a little further, it'll reappear. So there's a software glitch. But now you know how to go around it. I'm going to resize the ellipse by just dragging up on the endpoints. This has three different states. One is the vector motion. The other is a shape. The other is the motion of this whole layer, which you could think more of the video container-like layer. And you can animate on any of those three states. I'm going to drag all three of the anchor points into the center, just as good measure, good practice. And I'll be animating this on the motion level. Pay attention when you're doing this to make sure you're animating on the correct level. You can follow this exercise at any level, you just have to be consistent. At frame 0, which is beginning of the timeline, there. Let me zoom in to make this clip a little longer. Right here, I'm going to click under motion and position to start a keyframe, which is my first keyframe. I'll go 2 seconds later. I'll type in 2 to be precise. Frame 0 over here, and you can see my motion's position numbers change off on the left side. Going back to 2 seconds later. And then making sure motion is selected and drag it off to the other side. And there's my motion path coming out. So I created this animation of this circle going across like this. I'll go somewhere around 1 second and I'll drag this, let's say, up. You can see the motion path of the object. These are the tangents. So there's a tangent. So I can reshape how this object will go through that path. Another way to view this is now that I have keys here, if you go under the position, that triangle, if you click on it, you'll see what's going on from a motion perspective, key-wise. And there's the last key, so it just drops off and does nothing. We can adjust the type of keys used by selecting all three of these keys, right-click, and you can see when I select all three of these keys, let me do that again, and I'm going to press the tilde so we go large on this. You can see that the tangents appear. So for each one of these, or all of them, I could adjust the tangents of how the motion is interpreted in between those keys. I'll hit undo. Back to here. If I right click and go under temporal interpolation and go to hold, that type of key states stay put until you hit the next key. So now we have a circle that stays until it hits the key and go in between points. You might want to use this for some type of tiling effect or a motion graphic effect. If I go back to these keys and select them again, and you can look at the tangent handlers below because I opened up that window, and you right click and go back under here. If I choose Bezier, different type of curve, and if I wanted to, I'm going to go to this window, press tilde, and maybe for this key, we can adjust its tangent point like this, and going outward like this. Now let's take a look at our motion out here. Right, so now we got this pause, it just hangs out and then goes forward. Goes, hangs out, and then push forward. I'll reselect all these keys. I'll go back to linear, which just straightens out the motion path again. If you're not going to get into yet moving of the tangents on the motion path, another way we could have fun with this is by going back under here and choosing ease ins and ease outs. Ease into a key, which means slow down as we approach a key. Ease out means slow to leave the key and then speed up until you hit the next key. So with ease in, if you select all that and we go under here, we'll see that it's going to ease into the next key. It means it slows down as it approaches the next key. While an ease out, right click and go back under ease out, means it's going to be slow leaving the key and then speeds up as it approaches the next key. So using keys and how the time is interpreted in between the keys will help you control the animations out on screen.